everybody. Happy Thursday to you. I hope that you are all enjoying your morning. I have a meeting at 11, so I can't be on for very long. But I wanted to talk about the rhetoric around Diddy, right? Because everybody, right, is Diddy's been arrested. All of these revelations about this man has come out. A lot of these aren't new revelations for those of you who have followed hip hop and you kind of know, you know a little bit about how the hip hop space actually works. You're just like, we've heard these things on the rumor mill before. Like, they're y'all just now hearing them, but we've heard them before. This thing, hang on. I used this lip color, and this was not the glossy one. This is one of those, you know, super matte. I don't like things like that. It's like alcohol on the lips. But anyways, I'm listening to this rhetoric, right? And this is from the THPP network. Shout out to them. Um, I'm subscribed now. It just kind of came into my feeds. But they're kind of looking at Corey Holcomb talk about Diddy. And at first, Corey Holcomb was in the camp of people who believed that Diddy had too much collateral on some of these people in the music industry for him to ever get arrested. Now, I mean, when you think about Diddy, like some of these other celebrities, many of them get away with murder, literally murder, right? They are set up to be protected in this machine that sort of funds them to protect and gatekeep, certain aspects of the industry, right? And so, I think, when you look at Diddy, he did look like he might have been too powerful to fall. And he probably even thought that to himself. It was the Epstein effect because you're talking about the same animal, the same type of agent, where your whole function really is to be a socialite. You are to get people together, have parties, have fun with people, but you're to get collateral, sound bites, video, audio on people, who are powerful or who could possibly have some kind of influence. And a lot of times this collateral is then used to bribe these people or take them out. So this is the type of agent that Diddy served, you know, as in the music industry, right? So it is very reasonable to believe that Diddy has collateral, damaging collateral on a lot of people in the music industry and beyond the music industry. This is really he's the Black Epstein, guys. Okay, they're the same animal, right? And so obviously, here's Corey Holcomb.
But if that man got everybody on video, man.
He's got a lot of.
Your favorite action star. Hey, I'll kick your. Puffy got him on video.
Right.
Yeah.
3,000 whoop-whoos later.
Breaking news tonight. Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel.
So Corey Holcomb didn't think it was going to happen, a while ago. And I think that was a reasonable assumption. Again, the man has a lot of collateral on people, right? But now Diddy has been arrested, right? And when you listen to this reoccurring rhetoric, I'm looking at these bloggers say the same thing. Diddy's arrest could bring down the music industry. Diddy's arrest could reveal more people in the industry for shady practices and all kinds of other things, right? And there's a lot of people in the music industry who, rightfully so, are probably on edge because they have been a part of that Diddy contingency and they're trying to protect whatever aspect of their legacy that is left to protect, right? And you think about some of these big hitters from sports to business to music. these types of ops, they are touching more than just their industry. So Diddy probably got dirt on everybody, and he's probably understood that that dirt that he had on everybody could be leveraged. But the sad thing for Diddy, just like Epstein, is when you start bribing these people that you are being paid to get collateral on, and vice versa, right? It doesn't work out well for you. And we saw the fate of Epstein, right? Listen to this,
this evening
the
after a
so
grand jury.
called fate of Epstein, I should say, right? Because they said he deleted himself. I don't believe that at all. But, it's kind of one of those things that you have to, if you say so, right? I wasn't there. You weren't there, but this is what you're saying. So, but read between the lines on some of these things.
Jury indicted the music mogul.
What we learned could bring the whole music industry
Could bring the
down.
whole music
Fueled
industry
sex
down,
parties.
says
They're
Jesse
called
Waters.
freak-offs. Diddy lured women into his world and then manipulated them to participate.
But was Diddy the only one luring these women? Okay? Let me tell you something. It's interesting because you look at the video of Diddy just going to town on Cassie, right? Just going to town on Cassie, right? Cassie stayed with that man for a long time, and people can make all kinds of arguments. Oh, she had Stockholm syndrome. Cassie wanted fame, okay? Cassie wanted fame, and she was going along to get along, and honestly, that was probably her ritual and shaming. That was part of that machine. She stayed with that man for a long time, seeing this man do a lot of things, and people can argue, oh, she was afraid, she needed somebody to come and save her. It's like, you see Cassie out there without Diddy, just like you saw Young Miami out there without Diddy, right? She could have had plenty of opportunities to get out of that situation. But then she knows that if she left Diddy, she would be nobody, right? Cassie would be a regular person trying to make it in the world post a failed music career that was stifled by the dude that you thought was going to elevate your career, but really he just wanted you as his side piece and his slave, right? But it's so interesting to me that a lot of people are absolving Cassie of all of these things, and I'm like, she was luring people too, right? There's allegations that, Young Miami was luring people to these parties. So it's like, I think people need to be realistic that, these women, it's easy to play the victim, right? When the crap hits the fan, right? And that's really what's happening with a lot of these people who knew about what Diddy was doing, right? But now they see a capitalist opportunity to capitalize because they know this dude is about to fall. They know that Diddy pissed off some powerful person with whatever dirt he has on them, right? And, you know, these people are just capitalizing on the fall. I think some of them, and I'm not saying that Cassie deserved anything that she got, but at the same time, sometimes victims can be victimizers, right? People tend to paint these people as innocent, but you've been rocking with this evil person for over a decade. There's got to be something said about things like that, for real. You know, she wanted fame, and there is a price to fame. There is a price to fame. You're going to sacrifice yourself in some way. And in these satanic circles, honey, you about to lose all of your dignity to be in those circles. There's a lot of people who have sacrificed their personal dignity just to be around a Diddy, right? But the rhetoric is interesting because it's almost like, oh, he could take a lot of people out, right? He can bring the music industry down. It's like, first of all, the music industry is not doing well anyways, right? They've propped a whole bunch of artificial artists to take out organically good artists who actually have fan bases and who can make money so that they can take those fan bases, and they're failing at that. There's so much energy in propping not talented people who just have a face or whatever to go against organically talented people. So they've been busy being stupid right? So nothing that Puff is doing right now is going to take the music industry out because they're doing a good job doing it by themselves, right? But it is going to expose a lot of artists right now who are not even on top, right? A lot of these people are not even really on top, outside from your Jay-Z's, your Beyonce's, your Black Brulees of the music industry, right? Now, those people have a lot to lose. They got a lot to risk. And honestly, again, when Jeffrey Epstein, who was doing the same damn thing, started talking out the side of his neck with these people that he's been partying and mingling with or whatever, we see what happened to Epstein right after he got arrested and was sent to jail. So, at this point, the way that they're talking, it seems as though it really doesn't matter, living or not, right? Sean Diddy Combs is a risk, but now they have to weigh the risk. Okay, we got you incarcerated, right? We need to know everything that you have. And you're talking about decades of collateral on different types of people. So it's an interesting, story because I'm reading in between the lines of all the freak offs, right? I don't care about a bunch of grown up swinging people going and getting they freak on. I really don't. And that's just word 100. I do not care about a bunch of swingers getting their freak on. As long as those events did not involve minors, I don't care about Diddy's freak offs. I really don't. Morally, I think everybody goes through those phases in their lives where they're wild, they're curious and stuff, and people grow out of stuff like that. It's just like the Freak Nicks, right? When I was looking at that Freak Nick documentary, I'm like, I'm not about to hold anybody who was in those, in that documentary. You should not feel shame, right? You had a phase in your life where you had a lot of freaking fun, right? And maybe you were a little loosey goosey, right? But you grew out of that, right? Some people grow out of, certain points of debauchery, right? And they realize, we all go through our prodigal son phase, right? But some of these people have returned to their father. They're living honest hearted life, right? And, they don't get down like that anymore, right? And for them, it's like, these were all consensual adults that were in this freak off. You know what I mean? Like, so if this is, what they got on Diddy, they need to have, for me, there needs to be more than that, right? Because if you're talking about he lured women, you can't lure no woman. You're Sean Diddy Combs. Those women were groupies. Those women were groupies, whether they were plant groupies, right? Because I tell black men all the time, when you achieve a level of fame, you need to watch out for these individuals that are just jumping your way, because some of these women are plants. They are designed to put you in a position where they can claim certain things or try to get something on you, right? So that they can try to destroy you or sabotage you or control you. This is how these demons work. And they use black people all the time. So this is an interesting story. If Sean Combs, just sporadically goes into a deep depression and just can't take all the vilifying and demonizing, and decides that while in jail, that would be a great place for him to, do something to himself. I'm going to have questions, because I'm going to look at this as an Epstein moment, and I'm going to have questions. Don't nobody believe Epstein did it. I'm not going to believe Diddy did it. I'm not going to believe that Diddy did anything harmful to himself, right? I didn't even look at any of the hearing. Did he say anything? Did he do the normal, I'm not suicidal thing, so that they all know that, hey, if they lock me up, just like Jussie Smollett, like, hey, they're going to lock me up. I already know how these things go. Because these Hollywood people, they know shit. They die in threes, okay? Like, I've never heard anybody talk about dying in threes but Hollywood celebrity type people. I've never heard it come out of anybody else's mouth, and the phrase they take them in threes, but these weird celebrities. So they already know. They already know. So let me know what you guys think. But YouTube continuously suppresses my content, my live streams. They don't like people having like pragmatic, outside of the box of conversation that they want us to talk about. But I'm going to keep these conversations going, sharing my perspective, and hopefully, nothing happens to this brother. We pray that Diddy, as he is sitting in his jail cell, deserved that he repents, right? Ultimately, we need people to repent, turn away, acknowledge why their course of living was wrong, right? And this goes beyond, his betrayal of Black people in so many colorful ways. This is his own personal soul, right? Because you sacrifice your soul to a lot of things, my brother, and you're gonna have to pay the price for that in some kind of way. God will humble us. And I think Diddy should look at this as a humbling. I think he should look at this as a straight humbling, right? And if he is able to live his full life, right? I pray that he constantly reflects on the things gone wrong in his decision making, right? Because no matter how rich or famous you are in Satan's world, Satan giveth and he will take it. God doesn't operate like that. Satan operates like that. Satan takes away, right? Right? And he shows you how big you really are, how invisible you really are. Diddy thought that he was invisible. He has gotten away with a lot because the very machine that is going after him is also the very machine that has empowered him to be the snake that he has been. So let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you on the next one. If you like content like this, feel free to subscribe. And, interesting to just something to point out in the news cycle. If there was an assassination attempt on any of these establishment people, right? It wouldn't die in the news cycle, right? It would not die in the news cycle. It would be something that was kind of pushed out, almost propagandized as something that, whoa, we had a presidential candidate that was, recently, there was an assassination attempt on this guy. The first time, right? Now, I thought it was very weird that there wasn't a lot of just in your face, obvious news cycling about the first Trump assassination, right? But again, they want to distract you left and right, all kinds of ways to keep you from thinking about any one thing for too long. But even still, that was a really huge story, right? But the first one, they just kind of let it go. But the second one, I don't understand why there isn't a lot of coverage. Now you have a presidential candidate that has not had not one attempt on his life, but two attempts on his life now. Two attempts on this man's life. And it seems like it's a big topic in the news cycle. Like, you'll have some liberal medias, they'll touch on it a little bit, and then they're trying to move on, right? Because they don't really want to even empathize with this man at all. And here's the thing, there's a lot of people that are looking at these assassination attempts on Trump as, possibly not being real. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to call it, but I just know that apparently the liberal establishment media, they are sold on it not being real because it's just not a lot of coverage on this. and they're doing a lot of like, well, he's a mean guy, so it's just like, of course people it's like, it seems like there's some level of justification that I'm hearing here. And again, this is very dangerous. I mean, you don't have to agree with people politically. I heard Whoopi Goldberg say, "Oh, I hear people saying that both sides." No, it's one side. It's like, if you don't shut your ass up, Whoopi, right? Because both of these sides have vilified and demonized America in some creative way, right? But it just seems like to me that people are framing this as if Trump deserved somehow, or it was just a matter of time before something like this happened to Trump because he's mean. And, if you don't like mean people, don't rock with them. But to allude that they deserve to have their life taken in very colorful, slick ways, it doesn't really send a good message to the audiences that are listening to that type of rhetoric, right? Because you're creating rationale for, and it's very, it's not even serious rationale. Like, I can see if Trump was killing millions of people, right, then there'd be some level of rationale that that person need to be ended. Right? There would be some justice. But Trump is a mean person, and that's why he deserves to be gone. Like, irrational people think that way, and those are the most dangerous people to societies, because one could argue that hyper irrational people are very dangerous to American society too, and they shouldn't be here, right? But here we are having to deal with their irrational asses. So I have a problem with how some people are framing the rhetoric, and I think that we really need to kind of pump the brakes. And for media, and I have my undergraduate in communications and a concentration in journalism. And so it's like everything that I was taught, these people are not doing. These people are not journalists, and they're trying to disguise themselves as being credible journalists because they work for a conglomerate, but they're not investigative. They're not curious. They're not pragmatic. They're not objective. These people are propagandists, right? And they're also people who suppress real truth in a courtesy of radical and fallacious opinions. So let me know if you have observed this too, that it's kind of weird that we've had two assassination attempts on a former president who consequently happens to be a presidential candidate again, and hardly any news is popping in my algorithm, at least, about any type of real time updates about investigations into these attempts on Donald Trump. Right? I don't think Donald Trump is Jesus. I don't think Donald Trump is going to save America. But I do think that Donald Trump hasn't done anything to at least America. And to me personally, to believe that that man deserves to have his life ended because you have a bunch of sensitive liberal people that don't like how mean he is or straightforward or abrasive he is. It's like, that's he's not here to like for you to like him. He's here to do a job for a nation. And I'm in a school, like I'm in that school where I don't care how mean a person is, because usually most mean CEOs, you don't even have to deal with them, right? You got to deal with hearing them talk and their meanness sometimes, but for the most part they don't even want to be talking to the peasants like that. But if they're out there taking care of business and everybody's taken care of in the country, right? I don't really care how mean the person is. It's like, yeah, my president is an a-hole, but he's taking care of business, right? Versus my president is so nice, kumbaya, but they're destroying this nation, right? That's kind of the liberal mindset. Like, we want people who are like, you know, flowers and mushrooms and stuff like that. Everybody's happy and Woodstocky and stuff or whatever. And as long as we have somebody like that, we don't care if they destroy the nation, right? Like, I'll take the mean guy any day as long as he's taking care of business. That's my position on it. But, anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. Let me know what you guys think about this Diddy rhetoric, because I do believe that, I'm seeing some patterns of that Epstein guy showing up with Diddy. He's in jail now. Now, if he just magically decides that he just can't take it more and Diddy's just out of there, right? He prematurely passes on. I will have questions. Okay. I will have questions. And that's just the bottom line, right? Because these people are dumb. They use the same formula, sometimes the same tactics and tricks. And the patterns do not lie. Like, the patterns do not lie, right? And honestly, you just use, look at Michael Jackson, right? They used a black man to take him out the game, right? They slick, right? Watch who your doctors are. Watch who your doctors are. Don't trust everybody to be your doctor and be prescribing you medication. If we've learned anything from Kanye and Michael Jackson and some of these other black people who have jumped on addictions that are just really not even normal of black people, right? Look at who their doctor is, right? You don't want a doctor like that. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. Let me get myself ready for this meeting in about, I get about 40 minutes. But anyways, have a good day. Bye.